exclusive S-CAT Bass-Synth made by S-CAT Technologies, who make handmade, high-end, high-grade synthesizers and audio equipment. This one in particular is a sub-bass synth. You can hear it rolling away in the background. And that is at the moment being generated by the CV output coming out of the 303, which you can't hear because it's turned down. And it's going into the bass synth with CV. Okay, so I shouldn't need to tell you all about CV. It's the control voltage. It controls the gate. Controls the gate and the actual control voltage. So the gate is basically the note being played on or off, and the control voltage is the pitch of that note. And that's all like technology that I'm not really into, but you know, I know what it does. But I'm sure people can explain it better. But basically, it's sending the 303 or the TB-03 is sending control voltage to the bass synth and generating this bass sound. And if you heard this 303 with it, you get this. Okay. Basically, the bass synth is very simple. It's got a sine wave, which you're hearing at the moment. Okay, turn that off. It's also got a sawtooth wave, and it's got a square wave. And you can use this in conjunction. The idea, I mean, obviously, you probably need to hear this on headphones or speakers to hear that sine wave, but for those that haven't got headphones, there's a 48 dB filter on it, which is a beast. Goes really super low. And there's also an octave, a transpose, so you can send it up. Handy for pitching it, you know, if you're tuning it in, it's handy to pitch it right up. Okay, I'm not sure you can hear my voice well enough on this. Anyway, so that's got it with a bit of a bit of a square wave on it, which will filter out. As you can see, it just makes it a bit more audible, and you can pitch it up and down. Bringing the 303 back in, you can hear how it runs underneath it. Lovely. And of course, if you had this without the bass on it, you'd be getting this. Bring the bass back in. So it basically means you don't have to worry about bass. You know, this does it for you. There's another way of using it. I mean, I thought of and actually did this when I first got it, and I'll quickly see if I can patch it in now. Shouldn't be too hard. Okay, so now you got to tune it in. So I often do that by tuning up the bass synth to. It doesn't sound amazing on its own, so what we're going to do is put a synth which is by waves on an element. I don't know if you can hear that. I know, because that's turned down. Right. And I'm also going to enable that MS-101 on my MIDI keyboard. I'm actually playing my MIDI keyboard here, not the 101, but I'm going to enable the 101 as well, so that the MIDI keyboard plays it. That bottom end on that, let's just say it without that sub bass on it. Like, you know, jolly music, but it's not got any beef. If you're doing a real nice moody intro, you could like whack that sub bass on with your leads and your saw synths and whatever, and get this. You know, so it's got that element to it. So, you know, you're adding bass and depth to something. So for an intro, that would be fantastic. Another idea I thought of having for it, and I might have to search for something now, is when you listen to a lot of drum and bass, you end up with these aggressive sawtooth with a wobble LFO to the filter wobble on it, and they sound really, all that sort of talking vowel synth filter stuff as well. And it's all really good, but you often find with those tracks they're forgetting about the most important thing with drum and bass, which is why it's called a bass word, isn't it? Is you need bass with it. So, I mean, I don't know if I've got this patch going. Okay, so as if by magic, we've now got a drum and bass style track loaded up now. And basically, quite simply, I've got 2 instances of Serum on here playing different patches. And I've also got 2 MIDI tracks which are receiving the MIDI from the Serum synth, the VST. And that MIDI is in turn they're both that go into channel 3 of my MS-101, which is basically just being a receiver for the CV so that it can get it. Okay. So without the bass synth, we'll just turn that down a moment. You can hear the lines you get from the bass synth. So we'll turn that down for the moment. And all you're hearing now is the leads, the Serum playing its growly sort of stuff. It's nice, but there's no bass. So let's try it now with the bass synth, and you'll see what I mean about drum and bass needing some bass. Oh, there you can hear that, can't you? So it's got many different features that make it ideal for just adding that bottom end. That's what it's for, basically it's bottom end. And it's dead simple, you know, all there is basically is a tuner, a filter, a transpose to get it up and down the octaves, level meter, an attack, a decay, and the switches for the 3 oscillators. There's also some pulse width modulation and hard sync on the back, and other features which can be accessed by CV. Yeah, it's hard to say. Oh, and a volume attenuator. It's got a volume attenuator. So if I wanted to, I could send CV from my neutron here, send the LFO, say, into the pulse width modulation, and do that. You know, I haven't got time to be doing that because this is taking me a lot longer than I thought it was going to take tonight. But there's many sort of options you can do to add a bit of flavour to it. But at the end of the day, I don't know whether you would. I mean, I've not really done it because I don't think I would do that, to be fair. I just want it to give me some bottom end. In Ableton, I do exactly the same thing. I've been doing it for years now, and I open up an operator synth which has got it's basically an FM synth, and it works with modulating different frequency sine waves together. But its init patch, its initial patch, is a sine wave, and it's a really deep sine wave, and I always use that to put the bottom end on it because you need to have that bass. So anyway, this has been Warminstrel telling you about the S-CAT Bass-Synth. You can see the information there. If you look in the comments on the YouTube video, you'll be able to find links, a full description of the synthesizer, because I've probably missed lots of stuff out, an hour and a kill me. But anyway, as I say, really pleased to have this on loan in the studio here. It's bringing a lot of depth to everything, and as you can hear from the demos, you know, I've played tonight, it's very versatile. You can use it for lots of different things. It's not just for sitting underneath a 303, although that is pretty much what it's designed for. You know, you can add depth to your mono synths and saw synths and all that, and make this huge sound with some proper bottom end on it, and you know, not even have to worry about your bottom end. How many times have you had to layer up? A lot of these VSTs, they have a sub layer which you add to it because you need it sometimes. You know, the Serum has got a sub layer. It's not very good sub layer, nothing like that. I mean, you try getting a bass like I just had with that Serum. Try getting that bottom end on Serum, you know, you're not going to get it. So anyway, that's the Bass-Synth, the S-CAT Bass-Synth, very simple. I'll put the link in the description. They also do circuit bent Casio keyboards, do a really good job. And as you can see, this is a beautiful looking piece of hardware, you know, wooden cheeks, solid metal, you know, everything about it, you know, everything about this smacks quality. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope it's been informative and shown you what this little thing can do. As I say, very simple, but you know, it does one job and it does it really well. Right, you've been watching Warminstrel in conjunction with S-CAT Studios. Thanks for watching. Cheers now, bye.